Okay, so let's dive into Meeka's training so we can stay consistent at home. We are going to reward Meeka when she does the behaviors that we're going to ask of her, and we're also going to follow through with the training equipment if she decides to not follow the commands that we give her. So let's talk about her collars real quick. So we have her prong collar here. We're going to take it apart at the link, put it around, and then we're going to squeeze these back together to put this on Meeka. We will have her leash attached to the swivel ring, not the circle ring. This is going to allow us to use the collar properly. So let's talk about that for a quick second. So when Meeka's wearing this and we have the leash attached to the collar, we're going to use it in a pop and release to get her attention if needed. So for example, we give her the heel command. Heel means walk next to me on a loose leash, even with distractions. So we give her that heel command. If she decides to walk ahead of us or not on a loose leash next to us, we're going to tell her no. Follow through with a little pop of the leash to remind her that she needs to walk next to us, and then give her the heel command again. Now, if she is doing a good job walking with us, we're going to reward that behavior with treats, praise, and petting. Now, we're also going to use the remote collar to follow through. We want to use both of these hand in hand because we want her to understand when and what we need her to do certain commands. So let's dive into the remote collar. How to turn this on. The little red dot right here is a magnetic key. The remote has a matching dot on it. So we're going to touch the two together, and that's going to turn on the remote collar. To turn on the remote that you're going to have in your hand, the on-off button in the back here, we're going to push and hold that until the screen lights up. You'll see a level 20 on the screen, and we're going to focus on the black S button. So again, going over the heel command. When you're walking with Meeka, 80 to 90% of your walk should be in the heel command. The other 10 to 20% can be in the release term free, where she's free to walk around, but heel means walk right next to us. If she gets distracted or tries to walk ahead, we're going to tell her no, follow through with the black S button, and then repeat the command heel. So it's no, follow through, heel. So we're letting her know, hey, when you do something that I'm not asking of you, there's a little follow through that's going to happen. And then we're going to ask you to do the behavior. And once she is doing the behavior, we're going to reward that with praise, petting, and treats. So let's go over the rest of her commands so that we can stay consistent at home. We have sit. Sit means stay until she's told free. So like through doors, for example, for door manners. When we have her sit, we're going to open the door. She's not allowed to just bolt through. She has to wait in that sit stay until you tell her free or heel, and then she's allowed to get up. If she gets up before you say, you'll follow through. If she doesn't sit when you ask, you'll follow through. If she does a good job, make sure to praise and either reward her with petting or treats so she understands that, hey, it's fun to do the command when my parents ask me to do it. And then, of course, the release term free. Free means it's time to get up. She's no longer expected to be in a certain command. So free is her release term. Then we have down. Down means lay down and stay. So this is what we're going to use if we don't have the place bed available. So we use the place bed more at home and maybe down stay more out in public. But this is a little bit longer of a duration stay. So we have her lay down. Down means lay down all the way. When we reward this command, we want to make sure we reward it low so that she understands that being in the down position is the positive zone. We give reminders. So if a distraction's happening or something walks by, we tell her good down. So we're praising her and giving her a reminder to stay in the down position. Once we're done with the exercise, we don't want to free her from a distance. We always want to go back to Meeka, let her know that she did a good job, tell her free. We don't want to call her to us. We're going to practice come when called in a different way. We don't want to practice it when she's in a sit or a down position. We always go back to her and tell her free. And then, of course, if she gets up before you say free, or if she doesn't go in the down position, you're going to follow through with the training equipment. Then we have place. This is going to be a popular command to use in the house, especially when, your kid is running around, your daughter's running around, or when you're having guests come over. That's going to give her a calm spot to be in, a little bit more structured, so she's not as tempted to get into things or to do something that we don't really want her to do in the house. So place means stay on this boundary. Ideally, she's laying down, but she can stand, sit, or lay down as long as all four paws are within the boundary. When we reward this command, we put the treat on the bed because we want her to know that the boundary is the positive zone. That's what's going to produce the positive outcome, right, is the bed. If she gets off the place before telling her free, follow through. We say no, push the black S button, put her back on place. In the beginning, I recommend having a leash on her. That way you can guide her back to the bed so she understands where the place command is in your home. So having the leash on for a little bit in the house is always a great way to transition from training to here to in the home. And then as she starts to get it, start taking the leash off in the house, and then maybe using it as needed if a new distraction comes along. And then of course, to release her from the command, we always go back to her, tell her she did a good job, and then we tell her free. We don't release from a distance. We don't call her to us from the bed. We're going to practice. We're going to talk about come when called here in just a second. So always go back to her and then tell her free. So with come when called, we're going to tell her free. Now, if you're practicing in an area that does not have a fence, I recommend having a safety net on her, a long leash that can drag behind her just in case she doesn't come when you call and you need a little bit more assistance getting her back than just the remote collar. So having a long leash as a safety net on is highly recommended, especially if you're not in a fenced in area. So you're going to tell her free. You're going to let Meeka sniff and explore. She is free to do pretty much what dogs do: sniff around, walk around, wherever. Now, when you want her to come back to you, Meeka, come. As she comes to you, you're going to praise that action. Tell her, good girl, good job. You're going to have her sit, and you're going to reward this command every time, because we want to make sure that Meeka has a strong reward history with coming to us when we call her. So Meeka, come, good girl, have her sit, reward, tell her free, and repeat. If she doesn't come when you call, you're going to follow through with the remote collar first. If she's not responding to that, you're going to pop the leash and reel her in like a fish. She's done really well with this, but you have both options to make sure that she understands that she has to come to you when you call. Again, we want to reward when she does the commands that we're asking and build that reward history, basically building a positive association with Meeka doing the behaviors with you at home. Then we have leave it. Leave it just means don't grab that. So when you're practicing this, practice with dog safe foods like hot dogs, chicken, cheese. That way, if she does grab it, it's not dangerous for her. Drop a piece of food on the floor, tell her leave it. If she shows interest in it, you're going to follow through with the equipment, telling her no, leave it, whatever the case is. Use a leash if you need to, if something's really tempting for her. Like let's say there's a kid toy that she really shows interest in, maybe have the leash on so she doesn't get any reward for grabbing that toy. Tell her leave it, that way that item is off limits. So those are Meeka's commands. You want to make sure, again, reward the behaviors you want to continue to see. That's going to increase the rate of those behaviors. Follow through with behaviors you don't want to see with the training equipment. That's going to decrease the rate of those unwanted behaviors. Have fun, stay consistent, and now we're going to show you Meeka's commands. Down. Good girl. Down. Down. Good. Down. Good. Down. Good. Down. Good. Down. Free. Good girl. All right, let's go over the other features of the remote collar, but real quick, this is her prong collar that she came in on, and I just wanted to point out that some of the links seem to be a little bit warped, so you might want to order some replacement links just for safety reasons. We don't want the links to be easily pulled apart like this end one here, because it just seems like something's not quite right. So just be safe and maybe order a few different links for the prong collar. Now, as far as the remote collar, we just went over the basics, how to turn the collar on and what button to push. So let's go over the other features that this remote collar has. We have the magnet on and off for the remote, and then of course the button in the back, the on-off button in the center. If we push and hold that, we will turn the remote off, and then we'll push and hold it, turn it back on. Perfect. So we have the black S button. That is the primary button we're going to use. We also have the red S button. This is for emergencies only. So you're going to see that it increases the level by 20. When would we ever need this? Let's say Meeka is practicing training outside and all of a sudden she takes off for the road. She sees something really interesting, a ball, a squirrel, something has got her attention. Her adrenaline's up. So when we use level 20, it works for the excitement level of Meeka from here down, right? But when she's running for the road for that, random event, it's an emergency, she's up here. We need that boost feature to snap her back to reality, get her back down to here. So it's just used for emergencies, and we have not needed this for Meeka, but you have it just in case. The T button on the other side, this is vibrate. This is going to vibrate the collar. We can use this as a warning for Meeka, like she's doing pretty good but needs a little reminder, but not like a correction. Like we didn't put her in a command and she broke it, or she's still listening, but she just did something that was just a little funky. You can use this as a little warning. I wouldn't do that in the beginning. I would make sure your commands and boundaries are very strict and clear. What I also like to use it for, though, is to make sure before I put this on Meeka that I have turned it on, because sometimes with that magnet it just is a little bit funky, so keep that in mind. Then we have, let's see, lost my train of thought. Let's go over, when to put this on Meeka. First thing in the morning. She should wear this first thing in the morning, all day, every day. That way you have the ability to stay consistent throughout the day. Even if you don't plan on using this or don't plan on doing official training sessions, it's important to be able to follow through with Meeka at any point during your day. That way she understands that you are consistent and you have the ability to communicate with her at any point in time. So make sure we use this to stay consistent with that. Let's talk about the other features here. So we have the on-off button. If we tap that instead of pushing and holding it, it will activate the flashlight feature instead of turning the remote off. Great feature to see Meeka at night, especially because her fur is darker, so it just helps us see her at night a little bit better. So when you're putting this on, we have the quick strap. Make sure that the light is facing out. So you can put this collar on Meeka anywhere underneath. It should be snug enough for the contact points to make good connection with her skin, meaning only 1 to 2 fingers should be able to fit under the collar. It should be pretty snug. It should not be able to rotate on her neck at all. Then we have the M/C button on the back right here. That is for momentary and continuous. She is at the momentary stage. She is not at the continuous stage anymore. We use that in the beginning at a much lower level to introduce the collar. And then we have the intensity level. So she's at level 20. This dial, if you push down and hold it, you will unlock the levels, so you can turn it up or you can turn it down depending on Meeka. So her level will change. It's just going to happen, right? Level 20 is what works for her now, but when she's home, the distractions might not be as much, so she will respond to 15, or at home the distractions are a little bit higher, so she'll need 25 to get her attention. Whatever level works to get her attention and have her understand that she needs to do a certain behavior or command when we ask her. So right now 20 is perfect, but again, that can change depending on the environment. So we put it back to the level we want and we push down and hold it, locking it into place so we don't accidentally turn it up or down when we're working with her. This is rechargeable. The charging port is in the back here and under here. It'll last about 2 days on a charge. That's if you turn it on first thing in the morning and then shut it off at night, because she can wear this 10 to 12 hours a day, take it off at night, but put it on first thing in the morning. So if you shut it off at night, you'll probably want to charge it every other day. And it's flashing green to let you know that it's charged and ready to go. It'll flash orange when it starts running low and red when it's about to die, and that's when you absolutely have to charge it. It only takes a few hours to charge though. And going into the box, the charging port is here in the box. We have the original strap that came with the collar, and we also have the original lanyard that she has, that it comes with. Now Meeka doesn't have super long hair, but if you want to change her to the extended prongs, you can. That is for like thick coats like huskies and whatnot, or poodles that have a long coat. This is the tool to change that. So I don't think you need to do that, but you have the option just in case. And then of course the manual is at the bottom, so you can go over all the buttons in greater detail, but we did cover everything, so you should be set on that. This remote collar does have a 2-year full warranty, so if anything happens to the model in the next couple years, keep this information. That way they can send you a replacement if needed. All right, so that's going over the rest of the features of the remote collar. Have fun, stay consistent, reward what you like, use the training tools to follow through to get rid of what you don't like. Stay consistent and let us know if you have any questions.